Sapphire, what are you doing? Get out of there. How did you get in there? Why are you in there for? Get out of the cat bag. What are you doing in there? Oh, you little pork chop. Come on. Come on, Porky. Are you stuck in there? What on earth? Oh my gosh. I think you're stuck. Oh! Oh no! You've got your Porky so stuck in there. Oh! I can't get you out. Here. Let me get this out. Oh gosh, this doesn't unzip anymore. Is your front leg stuck in there? Oh, there we go. Hey, at last! What are you doing there? Just walk in there, you nut. Crazy nut. Hey peeps, Kelly Bean here. Welcome to Gigglefish for all my new subscribers. Gigglefish, where today we are going to get some good, deep spiritual food for our bellies. And Gigglefish also provides relief in the form of humor so that we can keep our hearts light and happy as well. Today I want to talk about something really important and an extremely helpful video that I want to recommend and channel. If you struggle with anxiety, depression, any form of condemnation, whether you're condemning yourself or you believe it's your job as a Christian to condemn others, to get them straight, I cannot recommend this video enough. I'll put it in the description box. It is so helpful to understand God's fear or the fear of God in relation to respect, and also whether we are under the yoke of Jesus, which is an easy yoke, or not. The yoke of Satan, this yoke of condemnation. And I cannot redo the video any better than she could do it, so I'm not going to talk about that stuff. But what I am going to do is also, in this video, talk about how that relates to a quote from A Course in Miracles and do a little dive into that. And that quote is, "Only the self-accused condemn." So this is freedom. This is about freedom for us. And so let me just tell you what the name of Rosie's video is. And I recommend her channel highly. I do believe that she is hearing from God and that all of her messages are a roadmap for the bride as she discusses. This particular video is called, "It's Simple, My Children, Choose Your Yoke." Word in session from Abba Father, 4th of October. And so what she goes into here is basically talking about when we choose and are under the yoke of Jesus, that is a yoke which will convict us. But God's yoke never condemns us. That is the yoke of Satan. So if we struggle and suffer from anxiety or any mind decisions where we can't make the right decision because we're afraid we're going to let God down, we're afraid we're going to do it wrong, we're afraid we're not doing enough, we're not praying enough, we're not fasting enough, we're not doing it right, where we feel that God is disappointed in us, this is not the yoke of Jesus, the easy yoke. Matthew 11:28-30 says, "Come to me all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." This rest, what I thought originally what this meant was that, as I get more with God, that I'm not going to have to work as hard or as much, and that I can just kick back more and easy, and that it's a physical thing. And I'm not saying that it doesn't turn into a physical thing, but generally our spirits heal first, our minds heal first, and then the outer world follows suit. So the physical follows the spirit. So as we take on the yoke of Jesus, we are set free from the yoke of condemnation first. And that's one of the ways we can tell who's really walking their walk in the Christian faith. Are they condemning other Christians? Are they condemning themselves? Are they teaching guilt? Are they teaching condemnation? And if they're teaching it, that's the voice they're listening to, and that's the voice that they're receiving. And so that's why my Gigglefish channel is all about sharing God's love so that we can receive in the right spirit and heart posture of what God is trying to teach us through the scriptures. Now, as many of us know, if you've ever come across, and I have, most Christians think they're doing a good thing by going out and saying, you're doing it wrong, you're not following God, you're not following Jesus, you're going to burn in hell. Okay, that just chases people farther away from the truth, because that is the spirit of condemnation. We're literally coming from the enemy's camp when we do that, thinking we're being helpful, and that is not helpful at all. And this video explains why, Rosie's video. So please watch that video. Not only does it do that, for those that want to understand my messages better, as they relate to some of my videos, because I'm sure I will get people. So for example, there's a few videos that I did, and her video, because she explains it so well, unlocks what a lot of my videos mean. So for example, I did a video called What is Sin? And in that, I basically talk about, don't try to stop sinning. That's the behavior. And her video will explain why. Okay, I'm not even going to go into that. I'm just going to give you some highlights of that. I'm going to attach all the videos I'm referencing, my own videos and hers, so that you have information to that. And another video that I did was called 9/11, a message from a message from those lost that day. Received an intense vision about the people who died that day, to go to their survivors. So if you know somebody that passed on 9/11, please get that message to them. But in that video, I talk to the idea that when we interpret the scriptures correctly, there's no fear in them. And her video will explain what that is, meaning the difference between the fear of God, which is the respect of God, really reverence of God, and how he leads us to conviction and not condemnation. And that's the difference in the two yokes. And so, let's see, and then I had done a couple of other videos like WTF, eternal damnation, and eternal damnation, answer and comfort. And again, some of these ideas that we have in the Bible that scare us, it's not understanding really who God is and his love. And Rosie's video is very, very helpful to break that down in a way that's understandable. And unlock some of my videos as well, so you'll understand where I'm coming from with some of that. The thing, so the point being, if you struggle and suffer with anxiety, condemnation of any kind towards yourself or others, watch Rosie's video. Really, really helpful. But what I want to tie that to in this video today is to link that to additional information from A Course in Miracles. And it's basically talking about only the self-accused condemn. So all of us share and teach the voice we listen to. And to know whether we're listening to the voice for God or the ego or the devil or however you want to call that is, what are we teaching? So if we're teaching condemnation, if we're teaching those things, then those are the voices that we're listening to. And the reason for that is because we can't give what we don't have. So if we're not free and we're believing in all of our sins and all of this kind of stuff, we're going to teach that and teach others that you aren't free and that you need to do this and that to be free. But under grace, that doesn't matter anymore. Those are works, okay? And Rosie's thing will explain it. I'm not going to keep going into that. But let's talk about this chapter. I just want to read a few of the ideas around only the self-accused condemn and tie that to Rosie's video about choosing the yoke of Christ, the easy yoke. I'm going to start there. And so bear with me one second. All right. So I'm going to just, as I'm reading this, I'm going to just turn the camera around and let you enjoy this beautiful scenery that I have going on. Okay. So it says, this is under, and I'll put a link to this as well, chapter 31, the final vision. And this is Jesus talking in section 3, and the title is called The Self-Accused. And it's only the self-accused condemn. As you prepare to make a choice that will result in different outcomes, there is first one thing that must be overlearned. It must become a habit of response so typical of everything you do that it becomes your first response to all temptation and to every situation that occurs. Learn this and learn it well, for it is here delay of happiness is shortened by a span of time you cannot realize. You never hate your brother for his sins, but only for your own. Ba-bam. You never hate a brother for his sins, but only for your own. Whatever form his sins appear to take, it but obscures the fact that you believe them to be yours and therefore meriting a just attack. And this is really, where the church has been infiltrated, and the churches are all compromised because of this religious spirit that lives and comes from the yoke of condemnation. Why should his sins be sins if you did not believe they could not be forgiven in you? Why are they real in him if you did not believe that they are your reality? And why do you attack them everywhere except you hate yourself? Are you a sin? You answer yes whenever you attack. For by attack do you assert that you are guilty and must give as you deserve. And what can you deserve but what you are? If you did not believe that you deserved attack, it never would occur to you to give attack to anyone at all. Why should you? What would be the gain to you? What could the outcome be that you would want? And how could murder bring you benefit? Sins are in bodies. They are not perceived in minds. They are not seen as purposes, but actions. Bodies act and minds do not, and therefore must the body be at fault for what it does. It is not seen to be a passive thing, obeying your commands and doing nothing of itself at all. If you are sin, you are a body, for the mind acts not. And purpose must be in the body, not the mind. The body must act on its own and motivate itself. If you are sin, you lock the mind within the body, and you give its purpose to its prison house, which acts instead of it. A jailer does not follow orders, but enforces orders on the prisoner. And so this is, really important to understand that we do this to ourselves, and, we imprison ourselves with this condemning spirit. There was something else I wanted to say. I was thinking about, maybe I'll think of it, maybe I won't, we'll see. Okay. Where was I? Okay, so I'll just continue. Oh, I know what I wanted to say. Oh shoot, how do I say this? Okay, so in some of my videos I've said you are not a sinner. People are like, what? Okay, what do I mean by that? What I mean is who we are is not a sinner, because we are not what we do. And we are definitely not what we do in our bodies when we are afraid and living in this dream and living in the world. So in other words, we are eternal spiritual beings created by God, holy, pure, perfect. That is who he created. Just because we are tempted to believe that we are a body and that we are sinners because what our body might do, and if we're in a body, we're always going to be making mistakes because we are already, that is, according to the Course, that is the problem. We believe we're a body. So we already believe in the temptation in the meat suit as our reality. And so then we double down and say, we're confused about who we are because we think we're a body. Then we're going to say what the body does is real. And so now I'm a sinner because we are not what we do. That is something, a separate thing from who we are. And that's a really important distinction to make so that we don't get stuck in this condemnation loop. It says, yet is the body prisoner and not the mind. The body thinks no thoughts. It has no power to learn, to pardon, nor to enslave. It gives no orders that the mind needs serve, nor sets conditions that it must obey. It holds in prison but the willing mind that would abide in it. It sickens at the bidding of the mind that would become its prisoner. And I want to talk about that. And it sickens at the bidding of the mind that would become its prisoner. So I was saying that the physical follows the spirit. So if we want to become free and we want to receive Jesus's yoke, the easy yoke, that comes with, we must heal our minds first. We must heal the belief first. And because the physical follows the spiritual. So if we want to have that easier yoke, the easier life, it's about first receiving the yoke that is relationship with God and his love. Because the yoke of self-condemnation and of works is just toil. And that is not what he has appointed to us. So, for example, a long time ago, I thought I had breast cancer. I went and had some tests, and they found all this stuff, and they're like, okay, you got all these lumps and things are going on. And I flipped out and I panicked and I was like, oh my gosh, I got my breast cancer, blah, blah, blah. And so I knew enough to know that I needed to get to the place spiritually to let the fear go and to give it zero energy, because I am not a body. So whether I have breast cancer or I don't doesn't matter. I need the healing to know that I am fine and okay, to know the truth, okay? The truth. And that is, the truth sets you free. So once I got to that place spiritually where I knew that I wasn't a body and I got there spiritually, I was totally at peace. And once I was with the truth, with the easy yoke, with God's word, not under the yoke of condemnation, which is a yoke of fear, because fear is not of God. Okay, so if you're under any fear, you're not listening to God's voice. We are not listening to God's voice. And so once I got to that easy place, I was at total peace. And at that point, when I thought I had breast cancer and I had come to total peace, it didn't matter if I had breast cancer, because I already had the answer. And then once I had the answer, then I had more tests, and then there was no more lumps. Everything was gone. Okay? That's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about that we heal the mind first, the heart, whatever the healing is that needs to occur is what happens first, and then the physical follows suit. Hope that's helpful. Okay, where was I? Bear with me. Okay, so that little commentary was because I said, talking about the body, we think that, it's in cult. It sickens at the bidding of the mind that would become its prisoner, and it grows old and dies because that mind is sick within itself. Learning is all that causes change. And so the body, where no learning can occur, could never change unless the mind preferred the body change in its appearances to suit the purpose given by the mind. For mind can learn, and there is all change made. The mind that thinks it is a sin has but one purpose, that the body be the source of sin, to keep it in the prison house it chose and guards and holds itself at bay. A sleeping prisoner to the snarling dogs of evil and hate, sickness and attack, of pain and age and grief and suffering. And when you think about this, think about the condemning voice, okay? The condemning voice, and Christians love to do it. Everybody loves to do it. The condemning voice says, you're not good enough. It's not going to happen. It takes away all of our faith and our hope and our divinity, and is just a liar, pants on fire. Here are the thoughts of sacrifice preserved, for here guilt rules and orders that the world be like itself, a place where nothing can find mercy nor survive the ravages of fear except in murder and in death. For here are you made sin. And sin, and then this is insanity, okay? If you go look at my video, What is Sin? It's insanity, okay? convinced ourselves we are not as God created us. That's insanity. We literally have split personality disorder where we're like, I'm not what God created. I'm a sinning dirtbag. No, you're not. I'm not saying you don't sin, but I'm saying that's not who you are. Big difference. And that's where you can get peace. That's where you can get peace, because that's the whole point. Okay, we sinned. Okay, whoops, sorry. Okay, I can do better tomorrow. That's what conviction is, okay? The yoke of conviction. And that's what Rosie's talking about in her video. For here are you made sin, and sin cannot abide the joyous in the free, for they are enemies which sin must kill. I mean, think how when you're really in a gnarly, snarly place, or someone else is like, you're joyful, Now think about this. This is awesome. If you're really happy and someone's bringing you down, their job is to put your light out. That's their job. And if you see someone else and they're in their joy and they're winning and they're, they have stuff and you're envious or jealous, your job is to put their light out, because the two do not exist together. So for us to be champions of each other as Christians, we both have to be the light so that we let go of this condemning spirit. So again, that line says, for here are you made sin, and sin cannot abide the joyous and the free, for they are enemies which sin must kill. Okay? And so every time you start to feel joyous, the enemy, the dark spirits, are coming to kill your joy. They want your joy. They must kill it. They literally must kill it. So they're going to tell you any lie that they will get you to believe that I am a sinning dirtbag. I'm a terrible person. Okay, God says, hey, you're hurting yourself. Choose again. Choose again. Beautiful lesson at the end of this chapter. Choose again. That's it. Choose again. You don't have to suffer if you don't want to. You're the one doing it to yourself. In death is sin preserved, and those who think that they are sin must die for what they think they are. Heavy, heavy. Let us be glad that you will see what you believe, and that it has been given you to change what you believe. The body will but follow. That body will follow. It can never lead you where you would not be. In other words, we're in control. The body's not in control. The body doesn't have, it has no control over us. We're eternal spiritual beings, okay? We can soar while our body's dying, or whatever the body's doing. It doesn't matter, okay? We are not our bodies. There's a beautiful course lesson that says, I am not a body, I am free. I am as God created me. I hear the voice God has given me, and it is only this my mind obeys. Boom. Practice that 10 times every day. See how good you feel. The body will but follow. Okay. It can never lead you where you would not be. It does not guard your sleep, nor interfere with your awakening. Release your body from imprisonment, and you will see no one as prisoner to what you have escaped. You will not want to hold in guilt your chosen enemies, nor keep in chains to the illusion of a changing love, the ones you think are friends. The innocent release in gratitude for their release, and what they see upholds their freedom from imprisonment and death. Open your mind to change, and there will be no ancient penalty exacted from your brother or yourself. Isn't that our fear? I mean, to me, I think this is a misperception of God. I just really do. We are waiting for God to exact his punishment on us. That's what we think that's what we think the fear of God means. He's going to grind us to dust for being bad little girls and boys. Okay. Oh, he's going to give us free will, but then he's going to grind us to dust for free will. Okay. I'm just going to stop right there. Open your mind to change, and there will be no ancient penalty exacted from your brother or yourself, for God has said, there is no sacrifice that can be asked. There is no sacrifice that can be made. And think about that. I mean, is that loving? Is even asking sacrifice of ourselves loving? I mean, So the Course also talks about the idea of sacrifice is so ingrained in our mental illness of what we think we have to do because we don't understand love. Oh, I will love you if you lose weight. I will love you if you spend more time with me. Whatever you think God is telling you, whatever we believe that, the world we love game we play, which go look at my video, what the heck's that called? Why relationships are painful. Yeah, that's just a guilt ping pong nightmare. That's not love. That's not love. That's not who and what God is. And so God has said that there is no sacrifice. So sacrifice is basically where we say, who you created us to be, Lord. Perfect and good and whole and holy and wonderful. No, it's not good enough. I have to do something else. I have to sacrifice. I have to, I think about all the different religions. I think the Baptists, can't, like certain religions, you can't play cards. You can't dance. You want to hear something? This is a true story from my husband. My husband, his grandparents were, the father was a Baptist preacher, okay? And I'm not trying to bag on religions here or any of this. This is just hear the story. They were not allowed to dance and they were not allowed to play cards, and they have all the rules, okay? All the religions have the rules. They have the chains. They have the sacrifice, okay? Because they think that's what's required for God to love us. No. Change your mind. They were married, and at their 50-year wedding anniversary, they had never danced as a couple. They were married 50 years and had never danced because they thought it was wrong and that they would burn or whatever. And on their 50th wedding anniversary, they danced. And he was a preacher and didn't believe in that, but they did it anyway. I mean, this is the kind of stuff we do to ourselves all the time. We just hear that little condemning us, what we're doing wrong, condemning everybody else. And I want to give a shout out to this because these are the times we're in, and to call us to be better Christians, okay? Especially because we have an election cycle coming up, okay? And you hear the two sides, and I'm talking specifically about gays here. I'm not saying gay is right or wrong. That's not my job. That's God's job, okay? If God doesn't like gay people and it's wrong and it's sinful, groovy, okay? That's between those people and God. That's not my business. And to the extent we are worrying ourselves, okay, again, this is the spirit of condemnation. We are worried. So many people are so worried about what everybody else is doing with their woohoo and their tutu, with their hee-haw and their moo-ma, or whatever, their giblets and their giblets, okay? What? I don't care what you're doing in your bedroom. I don't care. It's none of my business. Because the only reason I would care what anybody's doing in their business, what anybody's pronouns are, what any of this and that, the only reason that I would care about all of this kind of stuff is because I want to condemn you. I want to condemn you. I want to be God. I want to say, God says, so I'm going to parrot what God says in the Bible, and I'm going to condemn you too. That's not our job. God literally said, no, your job is to love them. Love them. Okay? That's between God and when they get up there, good. Let them hash that out. That's not our business. In fact, it's the fall of man to know good and evil, to think we know what's good and evil. We don't know their hearts. We don't know their story. We don't know their lives. Doesn't matter. It's not our business. You know why? Because the only reason we even have bodies is to have the spirit of condemnation. Because only bodies sin, right? Okay, so and there's a whole big section on that in the Course as well. It's like, it's impossible almost not to make a mistake when you have a body, okay? So we're all making these same mistakes. I'm guilty as well, okay? So we all constantly do it. And the whole point is that it's all just the same form of temptation to divide, to separate and divide God's oneness, to separate and divide us from our happiness, to separate and divide us from our brothers and sisters, to separate and divide us from the peace of God, the will of God. Separate and divide, separate and conquer, divide and conquer. It's all the same game by the enemy. And then what it says is, you're not good enough. They're not good enough. They're not getting in God's kingdom. Don't talk to them. Don't do that. You better set them straight. Really? Really? You got that much power? And okay, so that's my whole point. The peace that God has for us is his yoke, his peace, his long suffering, his love, his acceptance, all of the virtues that if you look up the Bible quotes about what love is. It's patient, it's kind, it's loving. It's not riding somebody's ass like Zorro saying, get it together, man. And the reason we do that to other people is because that's who the yoke we've chosen. We haven't chosen God's easy yoke, because God's easy yoke's easy. We don't even have to think about all that stuff. We don't have to worry about it, think about it, give it energy, give it attention. Not our business, not our problem. And so think how, so for all of us that are struggling with the anxiety, with the pressure, that thinks that, being a Christian is doing this or that or any of this stuff. It's like, it's not. It's really about coming to God's feet. And I just want to say again, God gets all the glory for this message, all my messages, period. Okay. All I'm trying to do is point us to him, to point us to him, and to point us to more loving ways, and to, in the ways that we are not loving, to check ourselves before we wreck ourselves. Check ourselves before we wreck our relationships with our children and with our parents. Check ourselves before we wreck ourselves with our relationships with our political friends who have different opinions. Check ourselves before we wreck ourselves and understand what love is. And it is not the yoke and the spirit of condemnation. So watch Rosie's video, subscribe to her channel. She's awesome. If you want some truly good spiritual food, as far as recommend it all day long. So let me see if there's anything else I want to talk about here. I hope that was helpful, as far as I just hope that's helpful. So I don't think so, but I just want to, I'm gonna get up and just show you one more thing, because it's so pretty here. It's so pretty here. This is my, I'm a nature girl. Okay, oi. Let's see what we got here going on. All right, so this is one of my favorite spots, and I want to talk about the bridge. Okay, the Holy Spirit is the bridge. So it's the bridge from over that way is where we are now. This is where we are now with our limited understanding, and I'm including myself, of course, all of us. Until we're all walking on water, okay, we got some stuff to do. All right, this is Clarita Lou talking. We got some shit to do. Forgive me, Lord, for cussing, but we got some shit to do. Okay, we got stuff to do. If we are, okay, so over there, that's where we're condemning. We think, and where everybody say, bless their heart. Which what we're really saying is, what a dirtbag. Bless their heart. Oh, look at them sending pieces of us, whatever. Bless their heart. Okay, this is the condemning spirit. The bridge is the Holy Spirit. And then we're going to get to the other side. And on the other side, we're free. We're free. Because guess what? Over there, we're just playing like children. And this is so cool. It's just like, I love the whole thing about you have to become like children to enter the kingdom of God. Meaning, you have to be a child. You have to not know that. You have to not know what's the right political party. You have to not know what's right or wrong. You have to not know what's right or wrong. You play and you listen to God, and he guides you. And it's innocent and it's freeing. You don't have to think about any of that stuff. So I hope this was helpful. Oh, and this is over here too. I just love this. So this is usually, I sit right over there. Usually I sit in the creek. I sit in the middle of this creek because any time of the day you can sit in here, and it could be like 100 degrees outside, and you're always cool and comfortable because the creek is cold, and then the sun's beating down on you, and the sun is hot, and it's just awesome. Ooh, the moon's out over there too. So God bless you. Love you. Check out Rosie's video. Subscribe to her channel. I highly recommend it. We all have different voices sharpening each other. She's one of my sharpeners for sure. And we're all called to share different perspectives and all that good stuff. And so I'm just staying in my lane because that's what I was guided to do, and to bring the Course in Miracles pieces into it as well when I can, for different understandings. And I just love you guys, and I just love this new journey I'm on, and I just have so much to say, and I just hope, you know, as I get more time to do it, I'm just looking forward to sharing those things with you. So start telling me where you guys are from. I want to know where you guys are from. Okay, I live in Virginia. I live in northwestern Virginia area, out near the Shenandoah River. Just beautiful mountains and rural, pretty small town America. Love it, love it, love it. Wasn't guided to move back to the city, and don't want to, so because then I can't sit by the creek and sit in the creek and fish and do all the things I love to do. So hope y'all are well. Talk to you later. Bye.